Today's topic is refraction of light through prism. Basically, a prism has 5 faces, out of which 2 are triangular faces and 3 are rectangular faces. Okay. So you can see this this rectangular face. This rectangular face is known as base of the prism, and this rectangular face, this one, means if I point out this one, this rectangular face and the behind rectangular face, these two are known as refracting surfaces. Okay, so this one is known as refracting surface, and where the two refracting surface meet, this one is known as refracting edge. And this one is known as angle of prism, and it is denoted by capital letter A. Okay, so moving to next slide, this one is how a ray of light enters the prism and exit the prism. Okay, so this one is the normal, this one is normal, and here this one is normal. Fine. So normal always makes 90 degrees, so here it is 90 degree. When a ray of light is incident on a prism, the outer one is rarer medium and this one is denser medium. Similarly, here it is denser medium and here this one is rarer medium. So you all know that when a ray of light enters from rarer to denser, it bends towards normal, and denser to rarer, it bends away from normal. Okay, so here the original path of this incident ray is this one, but since it is traveling from rarer to denser, it will bend towards normal and the path of the light will deviate, and this deviation is known as delta 1. Okay. Similarly, when this ray of light will exit from the prism, means it is traveling from denser to rarer medium, it means that it will bend away from normal. Okay. So look at this one is the normal, na? So the original path of this light was this, but it is bending away from its path. So the deviation is this one, means delta 2 is the deviation of this ray of light. And if I consider this as incident I1 and this one as R1, this one as I2 and R2, okay, these are the angles, and this one is incident ray and this one is emergent ray. So I will describe you some derivations. Like look at this one. This one is known as delta, this is angle of deviation. If I consider the triangle MPQ, okay, triangle MPQ, delta is equals to delta 1 plus delta 2. Why? Because the exterior angle is equals to sum of opposite interior angles. Opposite interior angle. Okay. So I can write this one as delta 1 plus delta 2. Now look at here, this I1 is equals to what? I1 is equals to delta 1 plus R1. Similarly, you can write I2 as delta 2 plus R2, because these angles, means I1 is equals to delta 1 plus R1, because these are vertically opposite angle. Okay, so from here you will get delta 1 is equals to I1 minus R1, and from here you will get delta 2 equals to I2 minus R2. Fine. Now we will put these two values in the above equation, means in this equation I will put these two values. So I will get the value of delta as I1 minus R1 plus I2 minus R2. If I bring all the I together, so I1 plus I2 minus R1 minus R2, it can be written as I1 plus I2 minus R1 plus R2. Okay, so delta can be written as I1 plus I2 and minus R1 plus R2. So this is the first derivations, and look at the second one. If I consider the quadrilateral A, P and Q, look at this, A, P and Q. If I consider this quadrilateral A, P and Q, if I consider this quadrilateral, this one is 90 degree, so this one will be also 90 degree, and same case with this, means angle P is equals to angle Q is equals to 90 degree. So what will be the value of this and this? It will become angle, let me write it like this, angle A plus angle P plus angle N plus angle Q is equals to 360 degree. So angle A I don't know, angle P is 90, angle N we don't know, angle Q is 90 equals to 360 degree. So from this quadrilateral you will get angle A plus angle N is equals to 180 degree. If I write it more properly, then it will be like this, angle PAQ plus angle PNQ equals to 180 degree. Fine. So I am marking it as 1. Now let us consider the triangle PQN. Look at the figure. Triangle PQN means this triangle we are considering. If we consider this two triangle, what is the value of this angle? What will be the value of this angle? Angle PNQ is equals to 180 degree minus R1 plus R2. Look at very carefully. This one is R1. This one is R2. So this one will be what? This one will be 180 minus R1 plus R2. Okay. So this one will be 180 minus R1 plus R2. If I put this value in this equation 1, what we will get? We will get angle PAQ as angle PAQ equals to 180 minus 180 plus R1 plus R2. So angle PAQ, this is the angle of prism and it is denoted by angle A. So we can write it as angle A equals to R1 plus R2. This is our one more derivation. Okay, just keep this in mind. All this formula you will need while doing the numericals. Okay. Now come to this. We have got angle A equals to R1 plus R2. So if we put this value in this equation, means in this equation, what we will get? Look at here. Delta equals to I1 plus I2 minus, and this R1 plus R2 can be written as A or angle A. Okay. So delta plus A is equals to I1 plus I2. This is your derivations. Okay. So these are very important thing. This one and this one, and here now only these three. Okay, these three just keep in mind very nicely. Okay, moving to next slide. Factors affecting the angle of deviation, means what are the factors that are affecting the angle of deviation? First one is angle of incidence. Angle of incidence means is direct, what happens, just look at your book, it is written that angle of incidence increases, angle of deviation first decreases, reaches to a minimum value, then start increasing. Means if I increases, then angle of deviation decreases up to a certain value. It will decrease up to a certain value, then it will start increasing. It will start increasing. Let me explain you through this graph. Just look at this graph. Okay, this is a graph of I and D, delta. Okay, this one is angle of incidence and here it is angle of deviation. Look at this. What happens when angle of incidence is, let us consider this point. Okay, let us first consider this point. If I draw a straight line from here and draw a straight line like this, when angle of incidence is 35 degree, the angle of deviation is something like 44 degree. Fine. When you will consider this point and draw a straight line, look at this, when angle of incidence is 40 degree, the angle of deviation is 40 degree. Look at this, I delta. Okay, first it was 35 degree, then angle of deviation was 44 degree. In second case, when it is 40 degree, then it is also 40 degree, and in third case, if I consider this point, angle of incidence is 38, consider 38, this is your angle of deviation, na? 38 degree, and angle of incidence is somewhat 46 degree. See, angle of incidence is increasing, isn't it, and angle of deviation is decreasing, but up to a certain point. If I consider this point, you will get that angle of incidence is 55 degree and angle of deviation is what? Angle of deviation is 40 degree. So look at carefully, angle of incidence is increasing 35, 40, 46, 55, but angle of deviation is decreasing up to a certain point, means up to 38 it was decreasing, then it starts again increasing. Okay, so keep this in mind. Next, the material of prism, means how it is dependent on the refractive index. Refractive index, if I consider two glasses, flint glass and one is crown glass. Okay, so it is said that the higher the refractive index produces great deviation, means refractive index is directly proportional to the deviation. Higher refractive index will result more deviation. So among this flint glass and crown glass, mu of flint is greater than mu of crown. Okay, so what will happen? This will produce more deviation than this one. Okay, next is angle of prism. Angle of prism means if the what is angle of prism? If this one is the prism, okay, it depends on this angle. If this is more, then the deviation will be also more. If this is less, then deviation will less. Means if I consider two prism, this one is 60 degree and this one is 50 degree, this will produce more deviation, this will produce less deviation. Okay, related to this angle of prism, there is one derivations. Just look at your book. It is written that for small angle of prism, angle of deviation delta is equals to mu minus 1 into a. I will explain this later on. Come to the last portion, that is color of light used. Okay, you all know that rainbow has 7 colors, that is Vivgyor, and violet has less speed. Violet has less speed and red has more speed. Okay, more velocity. It means that lambda of violet is less than lambda of red. What is lambda? Lambda is the wavelength of the light. Wavelength of the light. Lambda of violet is less than lambda of red. It means that mu of violet is greater than mu of red, because they all lambda and mu is inversely proportional. Okay, inversely proportional. So if lambda of violet, wavelength of violet is greater than wavelength of red, then refractive index of violet will be, sorry, I told it wrong, na? Wavelength of violet is less than wavelength of red, then refractive index of violet will be greater than refractive index of red. And you all know that if refractive index is more, the deviation will be more. So here what will happen? Deviation of violet will be greater than deviation of red. Okay. I was telling about this. For small angle of prism, the angle of deviation would be this. How to prove this? Proof will not come, just I am explaining it for your concern. Okay, so look at this. Here in this case, mu will be equals to sine I1 by sine R1. Okay, and in this case mu will be equals to sine I2 by sine R2. When angle is small, means when A is small, what is A? This angle is small, then sine I is approximately equals to I and sine R is approximately equals to R. So this can be written as mu equals to I by R, and this can be written as mu equals to I1 by R1, and this can be written as I2 by R2. From here you can write I1 equals to mu R1, and from here you can write I2 equals to mu R2. Fine. Now you all know that this formula na, A plus delta is equals to I1 plus I2. So I am writing this A plus delta equals to I1 plus I2, and you know that I1 is equals to what? Mu R1, and this one is mu R2. Fine. Take mu common, you will get R1 plus R2. What is the value of R1 plus R2? Look here, A is equals to R1 plus R2. So I am writing it mu A. If I take this, A plus delta is equals to mu A. I am bringing all the A on same side. So I will write it like this: delta is equals to mu A minus A. Take A common, you will get mu minus A, mu minus 1. So this was our derivation. Okay, so just see this derivation. If you have any doubt, then ask me.